In the end, it took less than 30 years for the world as we know it to fall. 95% of the population died. There were a litany of causes, not that it mattered in the end. Our infrastructure failed, and with no electricity, our communications, lights, and internet failed too. There weren't even enough survivors left to tend the fields and care for the remaining livestock. As if any of us had any of the necessary skills. Those few of us who remained barricaded ourselves into makeshift fortresses, although we had no idea what we thought we were hiding from. To paraphrase that ass T.S. Eliot, not with a bang, but with a whimper, the world ended. Almost. In the late 2050s, the builders ended the crisis by combining biology, precision mechanics, and thermohydraulics to make constructs from the dead, human and otherwise. These automatons took up all the necessary repetitive tasks that keep us alive. The constructs follow algorithms and programmable, mindless cycles. The dead of all species have taken the place of slaves, and like those slaves, they have become the basis on which our recovery and our economy grow. They are everywhere. As humans, we have lost almost everything. But we do have what humanity has always had. We have hope.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to come and play a game with me tonight, and that makes me very happy. These people are, in no particular order, who looks the least prepared. Phil.
I look the least prepared.
No, but I figured you went last week. So,
That's very fair.
so,
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Phil. I play games, those of different variety. And right now I'm playing a game with these fine folk. And I'm playing Coas. And you really can't find me, or you could if you really wanted to, but I'm not too online.
Not particularly streamy.
Not particularly
Streamy
streamy or
like
YouTubey
That's a bad. That's
or
a
Twittery.
Yeah. No, not even
or-
Twittery. No. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone with a slightly more of a presence. Let's go with Wayward Knight.
Hi, I'm Wayward Knight, aka Chris. I am a Detroit-based actor and artist. Support your small and local artist friends, please and thank you. You can find me here on Saturday nights playing Delilah Stillwater. You can find me almost constantly on the Dirty 20 Discord. And you can also find me here on Monday nights GMing our Grave New World Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG. It's a riot. You should join in.
Yes, you should. You should very much. You should very, very much join in. Next.
Oh, here's all my links.
Thank you. Cool. And the Discord link is up there as well for anybody that wants to join who isn't already watching. Bison _ Stonefist. Go.
That's me. Hi, I'm Bison. That's my Twitch. I do stuff on there sometimes, usually when we're not playing here. Other than that, wow. You can find me Wednesday nights on Sudden Heroes.
Yep.
I play Linus Longshadow, the Kendall fighter. We're just starting to get into the plot. There's an army, there's dragons, and shenanigans. And two people we need to put on leashes.
They'd like that very much.
Yeah, I think they would actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, also in the near future, coming up in May, I will be running a Cyberpunk Red campaign on Tuesday nights here on the channel.
Yes.
I'm super excited. I'm super nervous. I'm a first-time GM, so this should be fun.
Yeah, you didn't pick a crunchy game to play at all.
Oh, fuck no.
No, not at all. That would be too easy. Moving on.
I never make shit easy for myself.
No,
It was either this or Rifts.
moving on before you think about that too much. Our very own Thunderscape 7.
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm here playing Artemis Demasi. I also do art sometimes, but usually I'm just lurking on the Discord, hanging around. Here's my links. I'm Thunderscape 7 almost everywhere. If you do want to find me, I don't post a lot though, so
There's still stuff to catch up on.
yeah.
Yeah. And I am Kevin. Me and many peoples, are here technically 6 nights a week right now until the end of the month. But tune in. If we're not here on one of those nights, it means that we couldn't get enough people together to play because RPG scheduling. Ta-da. Tune in and see us 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 6 nights a week. The only one we're not doing currently is Tuesdays. We'll fix that in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks? Think about that. But we are using, for tonight, you might see an image from Roll20, so I'll mention we do use Roll20 as our virtual tabletop of choice, but the art that is next to me tonight is actually done by one of our very own players, several of whom were inspired to do art by last week's episode, which was one of the ways that I've known I've gone right up to the edge of too far. Yeah, the rest of I was convinced.
One hint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say the rest of the hints that I got were all in the chat that night, just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of it. So that's why tonight is called Low Ebb. So let's get going. Let's start with some good news. As dashed and beat up and dirty and filthy and crashed and all the other words that we could use, all the other adjectives we could come up with, there is some good news. What you may or may not have figured out yet is that you have the formula that caused all of this, that caused the great dying. And, while none of you are specialist enough to know what to do with it, you're going to Venice, a place famous for chemists, alchemists, and scientists of all kinds. You also have access to a self-correcting system that's actually fractal in nature. It starts in the basement, and it has robots that tend robots that tend robots that tend robots all the way out. Sorry, constructs all the way out and all the way back. It is a self-correcting, interconnected system that encompasses all the physical labor on this estate. Some of the systems are shut off at the moment, like fruit picking, because there's no reason to do it right now, but they're all there. It's flip of a switch, and the whole thing runs. And you have two geniuses with you that can figure out how all of that works. Well, you do have, you have a steam expert and a construct expert here. You also have a Stefano and a Verite, who, if let loose on this, will almost certainly figure it out and figure out how to miniaturize it in very short order. So, with that, let's start. There's 2 upstairs and 2 in the basement, right? Let's start in the basement. Delilah and Sid. You guys are down there. This would be a spectacular and amazing if it wasn't for the fact that you're still all covered in ash from coming inside. I mean, he stomped some off, but still. And also that built into this are kind of really unnecessary constructs. Parts of constructs, bits of of constructs, things like that aren't necessary to be there. They're just kind of creepy. You hear behind you mutterings, and you look, and the 2 geniuses are coming down the stairs. There's a tiny patch, they're covered in ash too, but there's a tiny patch on Verite just around his mouth that's clean, and you realize that's from all the apple slices. The apple juice has kind of washed the ash off of the outside of it. So there's this little shiny patch.
How much tooth damage
did
that grit do?
But yeah, there's this little shiny patch on the front of these other two because they had hardly even bothered. They're both so amazed by what they've seen. They actually come in here following steam tubes. They didn't even really follow you. They were following the tech in this house. And they're muttering again about Stefano's going on about multiple redundancies and backups and fail-safes. And Verity's kind of following around looking, going, why did you do it 5 times? Why do it 5 times? Just do it right once. But they're, sort of just, they work into the room with you and you hear them. They've got it on the grand scale. They've already got this sussed. They've got it figured out on a big scale. Stefano's doing math like mad to figure out the actual pressures and stuff. Verity's just looking at it, making tiny versions of it with his fingers and his little tubes and wires and stuff. Nope, not doing it 5 times. Just going to do it once. But he's already building the wall size thing that when it's done, it's going to be about sort of that big. What do the two of you do?
When they come to where Sid is, he's asleep. He's just slumped up against a instrument panel he was looking at, head against his, down like that, just exhausted. If it wasn't for the steady rise and fall of his chest, you'd think he was dead.
Perfect. The two of them come rolling up, and as they're working their way through the system, they get to the control panel that you're laying on, and they start working on it, and you're in the way. So Stefano just sort of, without even thinking, just grabs your shoulders and just pulls you up. Your head kind of goes, and they lift you up, and they start chatting about what was underneath you, and then they just put you back down, and there's a little sort of fall of ash. So there's, when you sit up again, there's going to be like a Sid-shaped outline of ash on the control panel, and they just keep working along like you were like a handkerchief sitting over the controls. And then Verite, they get about just to the end of the thing there, and then Verite stops and comes back and pulls out of the little backpack that he's wearing an absolutely ash-covered sort of cloth, and he folds it up a bunch of times. It's still only about this thick and about sort of that square, and he lifts you up very, very carefully by your head. He just sort of puts it underneath where your forehead is, and then puts your forehead back down on it very gently, and then follows Stefano and continues on their project.
World's tiniest pillow.
Yes, and probably not particularly effective and covered in ash. So,
With a black square on my forehead.
But Verite had a thought outside his own head, so yeah. So because you're sleeping, so we're going to ask Delilah, what do you do when you see all of that?
The basement or Verite and Stefano?
The whole thing. Start with the basement before they show up. Sid sits down, bonk, and he's out.
He was looking at he has beside him he has a notepad just filled with calculations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the bottom line says unicorn puppy snee, and then that's it.
Yeah, just
yeah.
My notes in college. Specifically the sneer. Well, before Verite and Stefano come down, I mean, she last week she was, in shock and horrified and in the beginnings of disgust, and I think before she can really take any of it in, honestly, she runs back upstairs. And despite the conditions outside, she kind of goes and throws up real quick.
Oh yeah, there's we talked about a colonnaded deck out front, so there is an area that's sort of, it's swirling ash, but at least it's not pummeling you. Yeah.
She just has to. This is too much for her, especially knowing she's the one who figured out whose work it was.
Yep.
And so this is hitting her, and it's disgusting and horrendous, and she, just her mental is becoming physical, and she's gutted.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you even see the two geniuses downstairs?
I don't.
No, you're gone before they even get there. Okay.
No, yeah.
In that case, you're standing out on the deck. The deck, that's a little understated. The collinated portico. There we go. This is a mansion. Like, I'm thinking southern mansion, right? The big. Only one, no wings, not like Roman, not that big, but big. And all you can see is the pumice and the ash still swirling around. You realize probably you might be the first one because you're the first one that stepped outside in a while. It must be night, but there's no way of telling. It's absolutely dark out here. The only light is coming out from the house.
I feel like, she knows that's significant, but at the same time, she's done and has started aspirating ash again.
Yeah.
So she's just going to, like, hightail it back inside, but she's not okay.
All right.
And I think, God, her thoughts are such a jumble.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I can't go back in that basement.
Yep.
For a while.
Yep.
So she's like, okay, find Coas and Artemis.
So you start just looking around. Oh, by the way, the butler is still there, still gesturing at the door. You've stopped him because you didn't do what he asked you to do, so he doesn't know what to do next. He's still stuck there, and you can tell he's slowly steaming down. He's kind of... As you come back inside, a smaller, very much not human looking, just it looks like a little box really, comes out from around a corner. You don't see where it actually comes from yet. Scoots across the carpet up to them, and two little hoses come up. One of them sprays in water, one of them sprays in kerosene. And a little arm comes out and lights a light. It's already lit, but if it hadn't been, this would have lit it. It's been recharged. And then all the hoses withdraw, and it goes back and heads downstairs again. Or at least it goes around the corner and disappears. The butler just drops his arms, but he still stands there because he's got no next instruction. That was the den. So, yeah.
Yeah, put that in a for later box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right now she's like, let's change the subject. Let's change the subject.
Yep. Okay.
So she's like, Coas, Artemis, the people, talking, the distraction. What did they find?
They're upstairs above you. As you sort of turn to look, you can see ahead of you one door is open. It was probably open when you came in. There's nothing sneaky about this. But you can see beyond it a library. All the books and shelves and everything, all perfect and organized. No dust, no ash, nothing. And you turn around and you can hear Artemis and Coas upstairs.
Weirdly, I think when she hears Artemis and Coas and realizes that she'd have to interact with just people who are unpredictable. Not like people in general are unpredictable.
Yes. Yep.
But also the Demasis are chaos. Just
it's fair. Yeah.
She's like, oh, maybe I don't want people right now. But she does have this like insatiable morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how deep does this go?
Mm-hmm.
Like how deep is the hole?
Yeah.
And she's also so full of that horrid anxiety now that she can't just sit still.
Yep.
So she's gonna go check out that library.
Okay. You walk in and it's a library's dream. It's all leather bound. There's no cheap crap here. The wood is, teak. There's been zero expense spared. This is a glorious place if you like books. If you like books, you now worship books. If you already worship books, you're probably drooling. Yeah. You can see the gold leaf titles on all the books around you. The tables and chairs are that combination of historically beautiful but also comfortable. That's hard to do. Like, you can't sit on some of them
Yeah.
perchy or ass chairs that look really good in libraries, but this is both. It's got the special benches that are V, so the books don't open too much. All the deals. And in all of that, in one of those the V-shaped tables, there's what is clearly a journal. It looks like nothing else in here. It's just a boring, I hesitate to say teenage diary, but it's that level of different from the stuff that's in here.
Start with the obvious.
Yeah, and it is open. You walk over, the last entry is, I have to fix this, I'm going to the city.
What's the second to last entry?
You start reading, I'm not going to go every one, but if you start reading backwards, I'm going to put the story forwards. After you read backwards a couple of pages, you can put it together. Your hero, the person who started the Citadel, did this. They started the Big Death. They didn't mean to. They just needed a couple hundred people to do the thing that they've been doing that you've seen throughout the next round of adaptations to the system in their house. It got out of hand. They tried to stop it. They failed. They went to the city to use the automation to try and save at least one place.
Is there a chair she can like throw and scream?
I specifically said there was chairs in here. Yes, yeah. You throw it, hits the wall, books come off the wall and crash to the ground. No real books were hurt in this scene.
She
Just some
is
encyclopedias.
Yeah.
like really, really gross, like outdated Britannicas or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Funk and Wagnalls. It's the ones I had in the 80s. Yeah. That was the actual name. Funk and Wagnalls.
Delilah is rage mode now.
Yeah, just trashing the library.
No
real books were hurt. Yeah.
No.
Furniture.
She takes the journal.
Yep.
And she closes it and puts it in her coat.
Yep.
And then she like wipes the table clean.
Yep.
Flips as much as she can.
Yes.
She is having a temper tantrum
Absolutely.
of the grandest order.
That desk is fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. She's like, I don't care how antique this furniture
the
is.
wooden block thing you just off the table and gone. The quill, the pen, there's a big splash of ink across the carpet. The table itself, you have to kind of grunt for a second, but it's like, no. It's resisting you just makes you more angry. You just go into full ogre mode. And just,
And then at whatever point that she can't like destroy anything else, she just falls to her knees and starts sobbing.
In this, other than the damage that you've done, perfectly pristine and lovely library.
There's like ashy tears dripping onto the carpet by the ink stains, and like her hair is wild, and everything is wrong.
Yep.
Everything is wrong.
Absolutely. Hold that thought for a very brief period of time, because I suspect Artemis and Coas, you are upstairs. You have made the discovery right at the end of the last episode of more or less what Delilah just figured out. At that moment, as those two journals hit the table, just boof, boof, you hear from downstairs primal noises. They're not even screams. They're just noises. I added them because, Delilah, I'm just assuming you were so mad you didn't even know that you were just rage screaming as well. And you hear heavy things smashing and crashing about pretty much directly below you, because you guys were a floor up, In the office? Yeah.
Sid doesn't hear a fucking thing.
No.
Artemis will look to Koas and be like, I'll go check it out. Knowing he's not necessarily
Yeah.
all power to him, but he's not necessarily the best person to necessarily deal with this.
I mean,
He
make
likes
sure-
investigating.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep just going over these pages. Maybe there's something I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured this was more your
Okay.
speed. And she'll go down to go.
So you head out
Because
of the room.
I have a feeling she knows it sounded like Delilah.
Yep. It sounds like
Or-
Delilah if she turned
Yeah.
into a bear. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is like I said. Scream isn't even the word. It's just noise. Right? It's just rage coming out of all of the orifices. You know. But yeah, you hear that.
So
You
she'll
step
kind of
out
go
into
down the stairs.
that open area in the middle of all these classic big mansion houses, and yeah, you can see below you the library door is open, and it wasn't. It was. It might have been before. Again, nobody noticed, right? But the
Mhm.
library door is open, and you can hear a lot of noise.
Yeah, she'll go downstairs and kind of
As
go
you
into
get
the
there,
doorway,
the noise
duck a
drops
piece
off.
of furniture.
It does that? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, we could do that. And then, yeah. So
The chair
it's like
leg.
it's like popcorn. As you get closer, it kind of gets quieter and quieter and quieter, and you think maybe it's safe. Bang! One comes out the door, but then you step in. Go.
Encyclopedia. Boom.
And she'll kind of like knock on the side of the door so that like it's not like jump scaring her.
Yeah.
Delilah?
She's like trying to catch her breath, like heavy breathing, shaky breathing. And without even looking at Artemis, she's just like, she did it.
Yeah.
She did all of this. What is happening?
I think we're discovering answers to mysteries 30 years in the making.
I would rather read an Agatha Christie.
Artemis, you know that you have the formula, but the formula itself wasn't in the journal. Just that there was one.
Yes, there was
So,
a formula in the one upstairs.
So you know that, but Delilah
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Just thought it was relevant.
At least the buggers in the books get justice.
Lois and I went looking for an office to see if there was anything helpful. And there was a formula in one of the books, like research notes. I think it's the formula.
You think she died back in the city?
If she was in the Citadel, I think so. I couldn't see any way someone would survive all of that outside of a miracle. And I stopped believing in miracles a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be the one who... Well, it's not entirely true. They were training me to be the one who did the miracles. said there was a formula. She wrote it down?
Yeah, there was some research notes and there's a lot of stuff in there, but there was a formula. I don't know everything about that stuff, but at the very least, I think it was part of what caused the killing.
Kevin, are there more pages left in the journal that Delilah picked up?
Yes. It stops
Okay.
30 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, it's... How many pages do you want left? How many blank pages do you want left?
30?
Done.
Okay.
How many were already there? How many are her notes? Over the course of, say, 6 months, how many pages, just in her journal, how many were there?
Maybe like 100, 120.
Okay, so it's a good size book.
It's a good sized journal.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you.
Delilah is going to turn to Artemis. Well, she's going to stand up and then she's going to turn to Artemis. And she's going to say, I'm going to need those journals. But for now, I have to do something. And she, is there like another desk that also has ink on it?
No, because that would be, that's too easy. But what there is on the floor, when you flung everything, the quill is laying on the floor over here. There's a little bit of ink on it, but it's drying rapidly, and the ink well is tipped over sideways. But it's ink wells, you know, they do that thing.
Yeah, so
it's
there's a
on
little
its
bit
side,
left.
So there's definitely going to be some in there. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so you're going to have to confront your big ink stain on the floor to go to get it. But yes.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's just a piece of cutlery that fell off the edge of the table for no reason whatsoever. Definitely not a ghost going, lighten this up, asshole.
So Delilah will quickly walk over and pick up the quill and the remaining ink bottle.
Yeah.
She'll look at the stain and go, you deserve that, Elizabeth. And she will go back through the basement and open up that journal and write down everything she can see and find.
Okay, so you start making notes. Perfect. So yeah, you're doing it in sort of in language. Stefano's doing it all in numbers, like it's all calculus and geometry, and Verité's just making things really small. And Sid's sawing logs.
Yeah.
We'll wake you up in a minute. Yeah.
When Delilah actually finds Sid, he's fallen over at this point, and he's having a dream, but it doesn't look like it's a good one.
Perfect, because I wanted to wake you up from a nightmare, and you already know what it's going to be. But first, I want to pop back upstairs. So Artemis, one question before we go though. Artemis, do you follow Delilah or do you stay here?
She's actually going to go back up to
In
the
the
office because she
library.
had an idea of something to look for.
Okay, perfect. So you head back upstairs. Delilah, you head downstairs. Meanwhile, upstairs, Coes, you're left alone in the office, investigating and realizing that you're very, very tired. Wow, the method acting is amazing. You realize
I
you're
just like to get into character.
like you're thrashed, right? This is almost like being at the office, right? You're sitting in this room full of information, processing stuff, putting things together, and the things you're putting together are pretty awful.
Yeah.
And another one of the robot butlers comes in. It has to be a different one because they're on wheels, and this is a flight up, so it didn't roll up here. It comes in. It looks exactly the same, but it goes open and opens a door to the side of the office that you're in. Ignores you completely. Opens the door, steps back. The hand goes out in the way you're now used to, gesturing towards the room, and it says, "Your bath awaits, madam."
I close the book he's got.
Did constructs that in the city couldn't talk, right?
No, but the other one of them here already spoke. The butler downstairs already spoke when you got here.
Right, that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
It's clearly steam. It's not voices. It's steam, and it's like a complicated pipe organ in my
Like
head.
kind of what Verite did.
Similar, but not as good. Like Verite sounds like a violin singing. This sounds like Stephen
A violin
Stephen
screeching.
Hawking played on an opera organ. Or, yeah, there you go. Or on a
So-
church organ. There you go.
Ghost is gonna close up the book, put his feet off because
Yep.
he kind of got it into natural instinct, so he kind
Yep.
of had the feet up on the desk.
Yeah,
'cause
we
he-
set office, so yeah.
Oh shit!
There's now ash
should
all
check
over the
there.
desk from your boots. Yep.
Like I said, I didn't check the bathroom. Might be something there. And because he kind of didn't really pay much attention to the room,
Yep.
he's gonna go ahead and kind of just take a peek in and see what's going on.
The weird thing is, it's gesturing at a room. It said, "Time for your bath, madam," but the room it's gesturing at is not a bathroom. It's a salon. It's got like chaise lounge and couches and coffee tables and draperies and. Do you step into that room, or do you stay where you are?
I just took a quick look in just
Yeah.
to see what.
And you can
what's
see at
there.
the far end of it, there's another door.
All right, he's gonna take a step in.
As you step in, it waits till you clear the door, and then it rolls quickly past you to that door, opens that door, and goes. And you can see steam coming out of that room.
Doing a quick scan of this room. Anything?
This
of
is I used the word salon, and that's exactly what this is. This is a place to entertain, a place for witty banter. There's no games or anything here because you're expected. This is a place you come and entertain yourselves amongst friends.
Okay. All right. Nothing of note. No like trophies or
I mean, it's
anything of the sort.
It's stunning. This is a mansion. Everything about this place
That's
is
fair.
over the top, right? So
Yeah, makes sense.
it is. Some of this stuff is Louis the whatevereth. It's it's crazy rich. The paintings on the wall are now that you started this, those huge family paintings that people get done. They're like 4 feet by 8 feet of Uncle Fred in a garb that he never actually wore when he was alive, and painted to look like he was actually fairly handsome, even though we all know he wasn't. Those ones, all the way down both sides. There's no way they're all from the same family. Like, they were chosen for aesthetic effect. This is not a family history, right? This is a show that's all about presentation, or a room that's all about presentation.
All right. He's gonna continue forward, kind of taking note,
Mhm.
but nothing really sparks his interest. And
As you
he's
get to
gonna
that
go into the next
that other door where the robot is, or the construct is, it slides back out of the way, and you look in, and it is the baths, with an S. It's like large pools. There's a cool pool, a medium pool, and a hot pool. It's not Frigidium, but it's the Tepidarium and a hot pool. Anyway, there's the 3 pools. It's a Roman bath, stocked, instead of by slaves, by constructs, standing there with towels over their arms. And the thing is, there's like 7 of them. The 3 pools are all at the proper temperatures. This is designed, you realize, for the salon to go, let's go have a bath, and everybody goes and has a Roman bath together and continues the conversation and has drinks and all that food, all that falafel. I almost said
Flattery.
foolishness, but I didn't want to judge, so I changed it to falafel, which is sort of a neutral food product. So,
Does anything appear to be like in this room left behind, or anything of note, or
it
is it just the
looks-
baths?
this room, since you phrased it that way, it's perfect. This room and the room you just kind of you look back into, and you look back into this one, they look like show home photographs. They're perfect. There's no ash, no dust. There's no fingerprints. Everything that's metal is polished. This is being maintained on a daily basis by a team of constructs for nobody for 30 years.
You know, they really should have like a fail-safe for these constructs. Just shut down. Interesting. And he's gonna walk out. It doesn't.
Do you actually step into the bathroom?
He'll take a
Okay.
second to step in, so he
As,
can like,
as you
kind of
step
look
in, the
around
robot
space, but-
closes the door behind you, and you hear it wheeling away.
Damn. These servants are not that smart. He's gonna go ahead
Madam
and
apparently
open up
didn't
back
like
the
being
door.
watched.
He's gonna open up back the door and kind of head
Yep.
back in the office. He's not
And back through
in the mood to.
Yep.
He's got other stuff on his mind.
But you can't help, like, that's two little rooms, right? You're looking around this place, this hallway that you come back out into is 15 rooms long on each side. This mansion is just nuts, and it's all perfectly polished. As you can look out the windows and see the ash fall and the pumice falling against the glass. You look around, you can see your footprints where you walked in because they're fresh. But you look down in the main area, you guys came in maybe 2 hours ago, and all that ash that you guys tracked in here and stomped off of yourselves is all gone. Downstairs looks like nobody's lived there in 30 years. Except it's clean.
He kind of looks down the hallway rooms. There's a whole bunch more place to explore. Sometimes I don't like my job.
And as you say that, you sort of mutter that out loud, that I assume is where Artemis shows up.
I thought you liked snooping into new places.
I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong, but not when it's all gonna be just Roman baths and.
Yeah, both doors are still open, Artemis. So you kind of look and you see like fancy salon, steaming Roman baths in the distance, towel constructs.
Not when I'm in the mood to find information. Not. Any other day, I would be taking a well-deserved lunch break in the bath. But
I don't believe you take breaks on the job.
sure. Hey, we're all human.
And
Sometimes
Artemis is
my breaks are not logged correctly, but that's just me forgetting.
okay.
Yeah.
And
But-
Artemis is gonna go back into the office, and I'm assuming that Elisabetta was. I mean, she seems kind of like she would have been like an organized individual.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah.
OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Artemis isn't like she doesn't know the intricacies of constructs. She doesn't understand all the engineering or even like what Coas does. She doesn't know all of that. She's an artist. She's thinking about this, but she wants to find, and she's hoping she's right about this person
Mhm.
from what she knows about Elisabetta and what just she can see.
Yeah.
She wants to find any kind of documentation on who the constructs were. Death certificates,
Right.
any kind of names, any
Yep.
kind of identification, because like assumedly these were all illegally done, so they were treated like deaths.
Yep.
So she's gonna look for anything like that.
I like this.
Coas
Yeah.
is going to kind of go down each of the 15 rooms and try to find and see if they're most likely going to be like a living room or
Fancy
a
bedroom, fancy
fancy
bedroom, fancy
bedroom.
bedroom, each with a different theme. Yeah, it's
But if
whatever
you'd like
you
to
can
see if
imagine in a
there's-
mansion. There's a really subtle door that you almost don't see. You open it up and you realize it leads to a whole section in the back where the constructs are, so that they only have to come out into the open here and there.
Yeah, he's just
This
looking
is why I ran them
for
around the corner when Delilah saw
any-
them. She didn't see the door in the hallway that it could kind of and it's gone.
any extra kind of cause sure, the office is a great place to store all your kind of
Yeah.
notes and work, but sometimes people like to store it in other areas. So
Um,
I'm just gonna be looking for other information in different other rooms.
in other rooms. So, all right. It's hard to gather any information in this place because it is just so clean. It is just, it's like nobody lived here. You know, it's just been maintained so much. I don't like to say no, but there's really not much you can do there. Artemis, what was it you were looking for? Sorry.
Any kind of documentation,
yes.
records,
Yeah.
anything like that on who the constructs used to
Yes.
be.
That. You've got a rough estimate of the number of constructs that you've seen here. They're kind of built in a lot of places. It's very creepy. But there are some local records that you can find that were kept. They were kept by Elisabetta herself, and it's local people that died of natural causes at the start, and then there was an accident and 5 people one time, and then there was some murders that they were taken, and then there was more murders, and then there just stops being a list.
Is there... My thought process for Artemis is she feels like she needs to do something even though she doesn't necessarily can't contribute to a lot of the technical things.
Yeah.
But this is like kind of a horror show within just like even within the context of what they've been living, because like
Yes.
36 years, that's older than Artemis.
Yep. Absolutely.
I believe that's also older than Delilah. I can't remember about
I think
Sid and
Sid's the
Celeste.
oldest, and he's only 35. So
Yeah, so it's older than
it
all of us.
literally predates us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to her, at least in their society with the construct laws, you kind of knew what you were agreeing to.
Yes.
You knew when you
Absolutely,
died,
yep.
that's what would happen. These
Yes.
people didn't, their families didn't.
The world was very different when this happened.
It
too.
was different,
Yeah.
but like Artemis has heard enough from people who are like, this is what it used to be like, this is what we used to do,
Yes.
read books and stuff like that. She wants to try to find anything that will tell her, like, any kind of humanizing like things about them, images, anything. She's an artist.
Yes.
She wants to find that, humanize them again.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, in that scale, I mean, because this is a movie and we're writing it as we go, that's range of people. Like you said, sort of the ones that died of natural causes, so lots of old people and things, and then the accident victims, so it's sort of,
Like even obituaries,
yeah,
if she can
oh
find
yeah, it's
those.
all there. It's there if you keep pulling. For those first ones, those are easy, and then it just fades away. There's less and less. Other than the murders become more and more obvious that these were not like, oh, they got murdered, we'll just take the body. It's like, no, I had them murdered and we took the body.
It's more pre-planned, and then it's starting to like
It escalates.
not even worry about covering the
Yeah,
tracks. Just
absolutely.
Kind of like,
It just escalates. And
It started becoming a self-fulfilling need.
And then this is when they created and released the formula, because they needed 100 more, not one more, not 5 more.
Yeah, so she will
And
look
it got
through,
out of
like,
control.
I'm imagining filing cabinets, but like she will keep looking through and like trying to find, and she will create a pile of like what she can find.
Absolutely. I just came up with an interesting way to figure out how many are in that pile. Total number of pips on your cards in your hand at the moment.
Oh wow, okay.
Queens and kings, you have to figure out what they're actually worth. While you figure that out, we're going to go wake up Sid, because he's waited long enough. Sid, you come to on the floor with a distant memory of, ow, I hit the floor. But you've been sleeping since then, too. So it was like, ow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
You wake up to the sound of tech talk. As Stefano and Verite are...
He's got a big black square where the towel pillow was.
Yep.
It takes him a moment to get his bearings. He actually wakes with a start.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he was having a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course he was having a nightmare.
Yes.
And it takes him a moment. He sort of gets his bearings. His eyes adjust. He sees a pair of legs. He looks up. Oh, am I?
Verite looks down at you and says, how can you sleep in a room this interesting?
The sounds are familiar.
And he reaches down to help you up.
He takes the hand and uses his other one to use the instrument box to push himself up.
as you kind of come above the. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it felt familiar, almost like home. How was the tour? As he's, blinking awake.
Stefano, I don't know now. Somebody is it Stefano or Stefano? I don't know now. But
I
Stefano.
always say Stefano.
Stefano, okay, he's your sidekick, so he's Stefano. You hear him from beyond Verite say to you, probably not best to think about any of that stuff right now. We're trying to figure this out. You're, and he looks at your apron, engineer, right?
Yeah. Steamworks.
Cool. And he looks around at a wall of Steamworks.
Yeah.
Like this is
a good chunk of that has like little pencil marks.
yeah,
like
that you've
Sid's
already been
own-
working on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that this is a scale that you can understand. Like this is the macro scale that you get. Then there's Stefano doing the math over here, the calculus and the pressures. Valve sizes, and behind you, Verite is going, no, make it simpler, and just making it tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get much farther than here though. But I mean, and he just starts going into technical talk, like just sort of pointing to efficiencies, and this regulator here is only necessary in this situation, which is great because we're 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah. They're Verite isn't nodding because he knows all of this and it's just noise to him. But Stefano's nodding along with you, like, yeah, figured that out. Oh, hadn't figured that out. Oh, yeah. And then he says, oh, wait. Come here. And he pulls you over to, there's a dial, and it's rated in PSI, pounds per square inch. And it's very slowly building. And on the top of it, it says roof. Or on the bottom of it, in a little brass plaque, it says roof. And there's a little line that it's approaching.
That's probably a pressure release, which means it's plugged.
He says,
Oh,
it is, but watch. And it gets to the line, and the pressure goes just past that line, and a little valve above, a little safety valve is what it looks like at first, pops. But then you realize it's actually going a different direction, and you can all hear, no matter where you are in the house at this point, and for a second it probably feels like an aftershock now that I'm saying it. The house is shaking, but it's shaking from the top, and you hear, and you look out the windows and there's an avalanche off of the roof as all the ash and pellet fall slides off, and as it does, that pressure gauge drops back down, and it stops.
That's almost how I would have done it.
Everything in this place. Do you know that somewhere out there, and he points out the window into the ash fall, and you realize you've been sleeping, so it could be tomorrow by now. It's still black out there. You have no idea how long you were out for, right? He says, somewhere out there are lemons with metal bands and magnets around them, and when they get to be a certain size, that thing sends out the picker.
Huh. He's like, kind of just sort of thinks about it, writes a few notes down, crosses something out.
You look around now and you can see it. It's all subsystems. It isn't all, it's all connected, but there's like all the subsystems, and then there's a meta layer on top of that is the control mechanism, but then the control mechanism is controlled, but then the control mechanism, it's just layers and layers.
It's all a series of interconnected parts.
Yeah. So it's got fail safes, it's got redundancies, it's got backups, and it's got a self-correcting mechanism. And it runs an entire estate and has done flawlessly for 30 plus years.
He looks to Stefano after a bit. He's like, have you and Verite managed to find the core yet? There's got to be some place where the boilers are.
We kind of know where it is. There's a sub-basement. To be fair, we don't want to go down because, and he looks at his math, And he flips back about 20 pages. And he holds it up and shows you a number that says PSI after it. It's a very, very, very large number. Like way higher than anything you ran in the city. He says, according to my calculations, that boiler's running at... And he taps the number. I don't want to go down there. I hardly want to be up here.
He's just like...
And you're like, yeah, if this goes, the whole house goes. Like, this isn't just the basement goes bang.
I'm not looking to turn it off. I just want to look at it. I've got to fucking see this. My accent changes again.
Yeah, just go down. And I don't know why this matters, but close the door. And you look at like the flimsy, they're heavy wooden doors, but they're flimsy ass doors compared to this kind of pressure. Like the whole house is going to go poof if this explodes. So.
Of course. Yeah, no, he has to see this. I mean,
and then he just really quickly just flips back to the page and starts the calculations he was working on again. Like he's taking his own advice. Don't think about this. Like if he comes up against something stressful, he just starts doing math. Yeah. Verite starts miniaturizing stuff. Yeah. They've got coping mechanisms.
Yeah, there's no bar. Sid's out of his.
You haven't found one yet.
Yeah, no, Sid's.
It's a fancy house. There's got to be like a wine cellar or something.
Everywhere. You didn't. Yeah. You probably just have to push a button somewhere. This whole place is automated.
At this point, like Sid wants to go down.
Yep.
Really, really, really wants to go down.
Yep.
But these are the first two people he's seen in 3 hours or 2 hours at least.
Yep.
So he's just like, I think I'm going to find everybody else first. You never know if Delilah wants to see this too.
So as you turn around to head out, Delilah, you come in.
Oh.
She looks like hell on earth.
A fresh coat of ash because you went outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sid's got a big black.
And it's like caked on her face.
Yeah,
the
reverse mascara thing. So instead of the dark lines, it's like clean lines down that are somehow 10 times more tragic. Yeah.
Yeah. And her hair is a mess.
Yeah, there's
everything's a mess.
There's a pause after he, kind of takes her in and it's like, "Are you all right?"
No, I'm not.
You eager for a distraction?
Yes, please.
Cool. We're gonna look for something interesting. And
you're gonna head downstairs.
Yeah,
the boiler. Downstairs. Cool. We'll use that as you guys step back out in the hallway to switch back. The two of you are upstairs. The Demacies are upstairs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Back in the original office, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the office. I think Coas was checking out things.
Yeah.
But
Right. You were checking out the room.
Copious bedrooms.
Yes. Speaking of copious bedrooms, Coas, as you come back, there is a what can probably best be described as a human parade coming down the hall towards you. They walk right past where they were before. This is at the front is Fatima.
What in the Von Traps?
Yeah. But it's Fatima and Carol at the front, and then all the survivors that came out with you. And Fatima's just foisting them. She looks at the room and goes, 4 in there. Walks to the next one, looks in, 4 in there. Comes to the next one. Oh, only 2 in there. And you better know each other. Hee hee hee. And it just keeps working down the hall, and she's putting people in rooms. She sees you and looks up and says, I took the liberty.
It's probably the first time these bedrooms ever had any use. So I think it's
I saw that, and I'm really hoping everyone's asleep before the help comes out again. Have you seen them? They're terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Especially the one that has like that claw that has like the meat that's on it.
Oh.
I don't even know what that's used for.
Oh. Never mind. I've got everyone in the rooms up here. I think we're beginning to figure out how to find food. I found a button downstairs that when I pushed it started, it said a countdown timer, and I think there's about 15 minutes left on it now. So I'm going to go check that later, but I think that's food.
Let's hope that's food. Where did you
Campaign
say this button
over.
was?
Sorry?
Where did you say this
Self-destruct
was?
button.
Was it in the kitchen?
I can't imagine, and frankly, I'm a little frightened to look at what comes out of a kitchen that hasn't had anything go into it in 30 years. But we'll see.
Well, maybe freshly grown crops. Maybe it's gonna be all vegetarian diet.
And they kind of look out the window and look back. I hope they've got lots in store. Anyway, we'll find out. What they really need is sleep. And she grabs you, Coas, like just out of nowhere, just grabs your lapel and pulls you in. Like for a split second, it's like you're about to be kissed by an older woman. And then she looks at you and says, and so, in the most motherly tone you've ever heard in your life, do, and she puts you against the wall. You.
Remember, she killed her husband just recently.
Yes, that's the side of her you're seeing right now. You could probably pull away from her right now.
But you
don't
risk la
want to.
you risk la chancla.
You also risk not being able to.
And yeah,
Risk
you
a
can,
knife at
you
her
can
hip.
hear an audible. Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, I was just finishing up my investigation, anyways.
The first four on the looking at it this way, the right hand side of the hallway, I set aside for you and your friends. I'm in the fifth one. Everybody else is over here on this side.
Yeah, sure, yeah, of course. You know what? I'll go right now.
Good. And it's what is your name?
Coas.
Coas. It's
Coas
very nice.
Demasi.
It's very nice to meet you. And don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way to the bed. Good
Yeah,
night.
sure.
And she, yeah.
Jeez. I haven't been talked to
Put
like
in
that
your
in
place.
years.
So you follow instructions?
I'll go to the room, but I'll kind of wait outside the door, just looking towards the office, waiting
Yep.
for Artemis.
Artemis, you come out and
Well, she was looking for the paperwork, and
yes.
I figured out the tallies. I only have 3 cards, and of the 3 cards, so that's 18.
18. Okay, so you have 18 names, 18 stories that are at least make them real.
She's taking them with her, including she's just grabbing a stack of paper and
Yep.
a couple pencils or something.
Yep.
And she'll go out to the hallway at that time.
Yeah. So you see Artemis come out, papers in hand. Coas,
Art mode is
you turn and
is-
see Artemis. Behind Artemis, Fatima is, and you might as well put the meme thing up. I'll allow this. And she's staring at you like, if you use this to make a break, I will run you down like a panther and a gazelle with a broken leg.
Artemis has entered art mode. She's
Yep.
still looking down. She's
Yep.
does not notice that.
Artie. Artie.
Oh, hi.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna be headed to sleep. However, I noticed you have a whole bunch of documents and stuff. I'd gladly take a look at those.
They're all the information that on some of the people that became the constructs.
Oh, wonderful. Well, not wonderful, but
Tomorrow.
yeah, I guess I could take a look at them in the morning.
Fatima, hi.
Yeah, she,
Hello. Keep smiling, dear. You're next.
Yeah, I guess if you want to mull over them, and I'll take a look at them in the morning. See what I can see.
Yeah.
All right, I'm headed to sleep now. Nice to still have you, Artie.
You too.
And he'll
Goes in and
Head into the room.
closes the door. Fatima comes up behind you, Artemis. Says, all right, oh, you're going to draw it out, are you?
Yes.
Okay. Try and get some sleep before the morning.
I will try.
Whenever that is.
And can I ask you one favor?
Yes.
Before you go to bed tonight, turn them over.
I will. How are you holding up okay?
I figure I've got about 17 minutes left. And my room's right there, so I've got about 15 minutes for you. What do you need?
Oh, I was just checking in. I just wanted to make sure you and Carol were okay.
Oh, she's
It's
been asleep
been
for...
hectic.
She was the first one I put to bed.
That's good.
Oh, secret trick. If you ever have children, when they're young, program them to go to sleep to a certain phrase. It's absolutely brilliant. Works their whole lives.
Good to know. Did you work your magic on Koas? Because he usually
And she
works through the night.
looks down the hall at the door to make sure it's closed, and she leans in and says, "He's a bit of a mama's boy, isn't he?"
There's yeah, there's definitely some. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lot of mom in one small package. You've met Carol, right?
Yes. Yes. You are very formidable.
Speaking of formidable, and she looks at you, and you can see she's starting to drop. Like, it hasn't been 17 minutes, but maybe she overestimated herself a little bit. She's starting to wobble. She's kind of wobbling like she was the one time you saw her drunk, right? And she's, speaking of formidable, you draw, I sleep. Tomorrow everybody has to talk.
Sounds good. Do you want assistance getting to your room, or you're okay?
I do appreciate that offer. And because you don't know me, I won't slap you. And she turns around and stands up straight and walks to the door. There is a tiny little wobble, and it was probably a joke, but she is very, very tired.
Artemis is like, that's fair.
And she opens the door to her room and goes in, and you can tell she falls against the inside of the door to close it. It's just... And you can imagine, I mean, we'll do the camera shot. It swings inside the room, and she doesn't go down. She stays up, and she just starts walking across the room, just mechanically taking off the outer horrible ash-covered layer and kind of swiping at her face, and then it's just sort of into the bed. She does make it to bed, and the shoes are off, so it's official. But yeah, she hits the bed and is out.
Artemis will go to one of the rooms, probably the one next to Koas, and
there's 3 doors left that are slightly open, so they're the ones that have been left for you guys.
And she'll set the papers and stuff on the side table, and she'll go look for Sid and Delilah first to let them know the plan, the orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you head through this place again, once again you can hear the ticking against the window of the rocks and the ash fall. You look over, it's hard to tell if it's getting worse or not, or better or not.
She kind of catches her reflection like in part of it, and she's like,
you're the same color as the reflection except for 2 pieces of glitter.
But then she also like catalogs it like, that's an idea.
Yep. You see again these amazing rooms, and the balustrades are all marble, and it's just this fantastic place. And you're stumbling through it all but asleep, heading downstairs to try and find these people and hopefully figure out how the hell to use all this information to save the world. But yeah, almost. Yeah. So you're heading downstairs to find the 2 of them. The 2 of you are heading downstairs. Yeah, what the hell? Let's have you meet in a hallway just as you get to the door. Sid, you recognize a pressure door anywhere. This one looks like the other wooden doors in the place, but it's clearly metal if you look at it right, and it's got a much heavier lock system on it. So this has got to be the door to downstairs. Just as you find it, you see Artemis. You and Delilah are together already, so yeah, you see Artemis coming down the hall towards you.
It's got everybody.
Albacos, I just wanted to let you know that Fatima got people situated in rooms, and she's assigned us rooms, and advises sleep. Take that as you will. It worked on Coas.
Apparently,
Arch is an
literally, I
eyebrow.
think he's just gone to bed.
he sent a beer back. But what are you guys doing?
To be
I don't know.
honest, I wanted to
I'm
see what was
following Sid.
powered. I was curious to see what powered this place. I had a bit of a union break earlier, so
What
He fell
powers this
asleep.
place aside from misery and tears?
and an absurd amount of steam. Levels of pressure that we couldn't even do at the steamworks.
Is it safe to be in this house?
Probably the safest place in Italy right now. If you're worried about the steam, this is fucking remarkable.
Okay,
And he's
then.
like, and you don't understand a word I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I do not.
It's all right. It's all right. I understand.
But I just wanted to come down and let you guys know that there are 2 rooms, 2nd floor, doors are open. If you guys want to like absolutely conk out.
Sid stifles the biggest yawn.
I'm not tired.
Yeah, I'm
The
fine.
puppy on the
Talking
couch
about-
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
awake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Biff out.
I've done that before.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
tell Verite and Stefano, was it? I would tell them, but I know they won't listen to me.
They might. Nah, they won't.
We can let them know what we're doing, but
Yeah,
they
if
do
I
what
walk
they
past them.
want.
But just in case you were looking for us, I'm gonna be working on some stuff for a while.
Sid pauses and kind of looks to Delilah and shrugs. He's like, I could wait till morning. Is it really that time? Pulls out a pocket watch. That's broken.
Yep.
Puts it back.
Looks at where Sid does not have a watch on it. It's I'm tired o'clock.
Hmm.
Oh,
Maybe
Yeah.
morning is the best idea.
Yeah.
So the 3 of you
it's sleep,
sleep
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleep 30.
On the
Yeah.
We're all I feel like this is how the actual conversation is going, where we're like drifting in and out of actually speaking.
Yes.
to
Oh yeah.
each
Yeah.
other.
Absolutely.
I think that's exactly what's
while
happening.
while
there.
you were talking, I wrote down my little note here that says, "You look like 3 zombies, all ash covered and exhausted and tear streaked
Weighing
and
slightly.
stained and have been asleep and big stuff on your forehead and
Smears and like
yeah.
different kinds of like
yeah,
fingerprints.
you just smashed the 3 of you." So do you stumble upstairs and go to bed?
Yeah, I think so. Sid marks the door just
Yeah.
in case he doesn't see it later.
So you put your hand on the door to mark it, and you feel it humming, just vibrating, just. But you take
Back
your hand
is-
off it, and you can't feel it. There's no vibration in the floor.
Back of his head, shoulder devil. Gotta find out what it is. Gotta find out. Shoulder Angel is already asleep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. He puts his hand back on the door and like, morning. A tired mind is a dangerous one. Let's go.
Anyone need help? Not help. Like healing or anything? And the way she says it, it's kind of like she almost seems like she really needs this for her mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Like she, as someone who like worshipped this woman and was, you know, kind of being trained to kind of almost be this woman,
Yeah.
she honestly feels like she escaped the clutches of something very evil.
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
and
like
I want to add.
wants to what?
I want to add one thing to that. At that moment, Delilah, it pops into your mind, if it hasn't already, you could replace her, but you could do it right. That is
Like,
the
I know-
best slow blink I have ever earned in my life.
Artemis
Look.
not sure if Sid perceives that, just because we're all tired and stuff. But Artemis has very high empathy.
I was going to say the
Um,
two of you could, yeah.
Frankly,
Frankly,
she's
the
looking
two
at
of you could Florence Nightingale's this whole building tonight. If
she'll
that's
look
your
at
plans. Yeah.
Delilah, giving her the out of, yeah, why don't you come upstairs with me and I can.
This is it like really fast nod, like yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Like without saying what actually is happening, like she's like,
Yeah.
When
girl
the,
code.
yeah. When the two of you get up there, you see that in spite of Fatima's power,
Exhaustion.
a number of the people have come out of their rooms and they're just kind of wandering around looking broken and confused. And there is a couple plates of food that are on carts outside of certain doors. It looks like they figured out room service, kind of. So a little bit of food has been brought up here, but they're too exhausted and too beat to be hungry, so they're picking at it a little bit. But there's at least a dozen people out here that all need help.
Are these like the older teenagers?
Some of them, some of the other survivors that just sort of glommed
Yeah,
onto your
some of the
group
adults,
as you came
yeah.
along. It's a cross section. There's just a little bit of all of them are messed up, and just out here in the hallway, just trying to be with each other.
Yeah, can I as the player don't fully know what to say, but Delilah
Wants to help herself by being helpful, using confidant
Yeah.
and bear hug in
but
a
also
narratively
Delilah
appropriate way.
yeah,
Because
so
I have a plan. Yeah. And Artemis, you also
Artemis
have...
also has a thing.
Yes, exactly.
But she also, my first thought when I saw that, especially considering like there were a lot of young kids too,
Yeah.
was like time for a good old fashioned slumber party.
Speaking, sorry,
Yeah.
speaking of skills here,
Yeah.
the reason why, I just realized the reason why Kois can go all these late nights without sleeping much.
You're a little quiet.
Sorry.
There we go.
Speaking about skills here, the
Yes.
reason why Kois can go late nights without sleeping too much is because he's got tireless dexterity.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
throw that out there.
Mechanical
As you
explanation.
dexterously sleep. Yeah, that will,
Yes.
Yeah.
I have tireless athletics. That actually mechanically makes
That
sense.
one does. Yeah, you could keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, Sid,
That's-
you know, as you put your hand on that door for the last time before you go upstairs, you know there's more in the reserves. You're
There's more in
tirelessly
the
athletic.
reserves, but he's
However, there was an offer for mental health help upstairs
Hmm.
from at least 2 people that you know.
And when Sid looks, he sees Delilah,
Yeah.
Artemis, Tomas, Ted, Carlo, Francisco, Gerhardt. It keeps going.
Yeah.
And he's seeing a crowd of people. He's like, yeah, I think it's time to go.
So the 3 of you
just-
ooze up the stairs. You know that when you're trying to walk upstairs, but your muscles don't work anymore, and it's just kind of a little bit. You ooze.
Artemis
up.
powers through, and
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of rooms, and I imagine
Yeah.
they've got rather large like situations going on.
Oh yeah.
She's going to get a few people that look like have the energy that they
Yes.
just don't know what to do with.
Yep. Yep.
She's going to be like, okay, we're picking one room.
Yep.
We're pushing all the furniture against the walls.
Yep.
We're grabbing a bunch of the mattresses from the other rooms. We're
Yep.
bringing them into this room. We're bringing all the blankets into this room.
Yep.
You don't have to be alone tonight.
Perfect. So that's how you're helping. We're not going to make plays on this. You guys have the abilities. We're playing this out. This is where the hope starts, like right now, right? So you get this group going at the end. Delilah, that leaves you with the vacant stairs and the listless people and the ones with no energy. You just talk. I mean, you literally have the power to hug people better.
No, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna go. Find one of the rooms that hasn't had an assignment.
Yep.
And grab like the big duvet.
Yep. How about the
and
salon?
I'm going to.
It's all full of places to lounge.
Yeah, I don't know about the salon though.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Artemis is
As you're
she could
searching
point you
around
to
for a
it.
place, you find the salon. There you go.
Okay, that's fine.
Easy as that. Words are magic.
She's
Easy 'cause
going
the door's
to.
open.
Yep.
She's
the
going
door
to
is still
grab
open,
like
yeah.
several duvets, and they're like heavy ass
Yep.
duvets.
Yep.
Um,
People help you just
but
because they do. Yeah. It's
yeah.
something to do. Yeah.
And anytime I see someone who looks sort of listless or, like vacantly, the vacant stairs and stuff, she's going to say something very like along the lines of like, "Hi, it looks like you could, use something to keep your mind off of all of this, and you could, use someplace safe and say, why don't you come with me? I know somewhere that you'll feel really nice."
So
Or
you
something
just-
that's not
yeah.
creepy like that.
I get it. You just escort these broken people one at a time into this room and put them in comfortable positions and make sure that the ones that look hungry have got a snack from one of the trays and all that stuff. Just helping, just pure flat out helping. And somehow for both of you, the sleepiness just goes away because you got something to do, and it keeps your mind busy so you don't think. And so, Delilah, every one of those hugs that you give, it's like you get one too, right? I mean, that's how hugs work. Even if they're for one person's benefit, they help both people, right? So you kind of squeeze yourself back together while you squeeze people back together. And the ones that you can't squeeze, you talk down, or you talk up from wherever they're gone. And you've got just this sort of natural circle forms in the room because it does when a bunch of people talk as equals, right? That's what these rooms are for, right? And you just talk about anything under the sun except what's going on. It's
For
just
some
this
reason, I'm
unwritten
imagining
rule.
like
Yeah.
the more adults are in there, and
Yeah,
Artemis is
you
taking
got
like
you got a lot of the teens, and
Yeah,
absolutely,
like-
yeah.
and the younger individuals who like don't know how to process it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's you're giving the people what they need at the moment. Those that can process, you're giving them a place to do it, and those that can't, you're giving them a place to get distracted, and the other ones are asleep. So the two of you are just doing this yourselves. Sid, you get upstairs and you see this going on in the hallways and in the rooms and all of that.
He kind of watches, like he helps here and there. He's still pretty lost, and after a while he kind of just he's sitting there with Delilah and everyone. They're all talking. He's just really quiet. And then he gets up and goes into one of the steam rooms. Closes the door behind him.
Yeah.
Strips down and just goes into the hottest pool and soaks.
Yeah. So you sink in and you see that as you go in, that layer of ash, just this ash slick,
ash and grease and blood,
pain and everything just goes around you like a ever expanding pool. Mm-hmm. And you're down, and I'm just in my head. You go all the way under, and then kind of come back up, and you're, it's almost like a baptism moment, right? You come out clean, and there's already constructs at the side of the pool sucking up the ash.
Yeah. He sits and he watches them, just silent, numb, and not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I say, so like, do the like the older kids that I'm with, like, do they get tired eventually and start to like?
Oh, eventually, yeah. Everybody gets tired. Even the slumber party eventually is going to wind down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get to that. Let's
Sid's
get to the point
still,
where okay.
If Sid's still in the bath, she's going to like find like a robe or a house coat or something, and like set it nicely on one of the like chaise lounges.
Yeah.
And stuff. And she's gonna sort of talk through the door. She's gonna say, Sid?
Yeah.
I probably won't sleep, so if you want to talk or need it, you know where to find me.
Very good, Mom. It's a very, very pregnant pause.
Yeah.
Like you almost wonder if he didn't hear you,
or if he's fallen asleep.
Yeah, or if he's fallen asleep.
Pool and drowned. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just this very, very good, Mom.
She kind of feels like she knows what that means and just goes to her room.
As you go back upstairs to go to your room, Delilah, there's one of the little kids has come out. Like they're only, they're still the sort of dancing down the hall singing stuff age. And I say that because they're dancing down the hall singing Saint Delilah, Saint Delilah, Saint Delilah. And they go around the corner at the end, running out of sight.
What about Saint Artemis?
Enjoy your moment.
I know.
I'm a good GM. Artemis will have their time. This is about you.
Okay. I hear you screaming, accept the compliment. She's gonna... I think she sees that, like, towards the top of the stairs, but not fully there yet.
Yep.
And once... she just watches as the kid, like, turns the corner, and then she just, like, breaks down again, like, on the stairs. And she...
Artemis, you come out from the last kid's asleep.
Yeah, I
And you sort of
imagine
step out in the hall
kind of what
and-
she's been doing has been like she kind of created this space where it's like you're not gonna wake up alone.
Yes. Yeah.
This isn't gonna be what Fatima wanted.
Yes.
But she's like, you can all like this is a place like you can all sleep like as like a conglomerate.
Yeah.
And she like any kind of food that they had ordered, she met the constructs so that they didn't have to deal with it.
Mhm.
And just like was like, that's my room. Knock if you need anything.
Yeah.
Or like, get Fatima, like
Yep.
whichever one you want. And so yeah, that's what she kind of did. So even if they're not all fully asleep yet, she's kind of left them with like a group.
Yeah. Perfect. And for the record, the food is breads, fruits, and vegetables that can be grown regionally. So they've kept the farm part of this.
I mean, there was an
except for
orchard,
the livestock.
so
Yeah. Other than the livestock, there's everything else is still functioning. So, so yeah, and then you step out from that to see Delilah standing at the end of the stairs. I'm going to time it so that you don't see the child. You just see Delilah 3 steps short of making it back up the stairs, crying.
Artemis will go meet her and kind of just stand next to her. Hey.
It takes her like a solid maybe 10 seconds to kind of even be able to speak. And then she's like, I'm exhausted, but there's just too much in my head. I don't know what to do. I always know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Well, I wasn't planning on sleeping anytime soon. I have that problem. So does Coas. I'm surprised he's still in his room.
Knock on wood.
I had an
Because
art
he's
project.
Coas, he hadn't slept for 3 days before this
Yeah, he was
started,
already sleep
so
deprived.
Yeah.
But
It's Friday. It's sleep day. All day.
I don't have all the answers, but if you want to just sit in a room with someone else.
I don't want to be alone. That's what I do now.
Then we cannot be alone together.
Yeah. Sid is he makes me worried.
Yeah.
I want to help him, but I don't even think he hears me.
I think he does. I think he's just like all of us, processing.
That's fair.
There's been a lot recently, even before all of this, that's changed, and I think it's just taken a little bit of time to hit.
You ever just stop? Like when it's too much? Do you ever stop feeling or thinking, or like you do it too much so you just can't anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that a lot.
It's awful.
Yeah, it is. It's awful, and it's hard to break free from sometimes. But it can be overcome. And you don't have to be numb forever. Sometimes you just need a bit of a break emotionally.
I think they wanted me to be like her.
Maybe.
They were
But-
certainly trying. And for a long time they were succeeding.
I don't think they were, Delilah. Because I don't think it takes Verite or any of us for you to be you. I think this Delilah, and she'll kind of gesture to her, was always here. And I think would have always formed. And I have to wonder if the people in the Citadel, were they trying to make you into her, or were they trying to make you into who they thought she was? Did they know who she was, what her motivations were, if she was, because she hasn't seen the journal that Delilah found, so she doesn't know about like her trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Did it say in the journal whether Elizabetta told the city what happened?
What what is very clear is that Elizabetta never told anyone that she caused it.
Okay.
They could have this
In
idealized
fact-
version that she is a
Yeah.
hero, that she
That
is
would
a,
be
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
practically a death sentence.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
especially if you chase this out, because they'd never listen to you after that, no matter what good ideas you had, right?
She did something illegal.
Plus, it's why
Yeah.
she
You
it's
did
why she
something
couldn't let
unconscionable.
anybody leave the city because they might find out the truth. There's other truths that you might find out too, but that was the one they were worried about. There's a whole. They had a lot of reasons to cover up what they'd done, and they were trying to make good.
Whatever they were trying to make me. It was working. Do you know what they do? They kidnap children.
What? The Citadel.
Yeah, well, kidnapped. Now that they're gone, I guess, but
Yeah. Consolation, I guess. Wow, that was a weird thought to have.
not much of a consolation because I don't know if you can see where this is going or not. I was taken. As a baby. And she'll just like start crying again.
I was imagining that Artemis has slowly been like leading her
Yeah,
to like her
one
room.
step and then have a little
Yeah.
bit and then one
Yeah.
step, so she doesn't
Like,
notice.
and like
Yeah,
she's gonna leave her
Yeah.
door open because like she's like, if Sid or Koas or anybody, like,
yeah,
she's not gonna be like closed door policy.
Yeah.
But she's gonna like sit down on the bed with her.
Yeah.
Just eventually get there.
Yeah. Tyler definitely didn't clock any of the movement.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Artemis is like, we don't need to have this conversation on the stairs.
Yeah,
One of
just
both of us
suddenly
is gonna
you're-
fall asleep on the
yeah.
stairs.
Delilah, you do that. You do, because I just saw you kind of do something like that, and then when you open your eyes, it's like, oh shit, we're in the bedroom. Okay. I'm on. Okay, wow, I don't remember, but yeah,
There's a few there's like 10 fewer pillows than there were when the room was first
Yeah, yeah.
entered.
But there's
because
still
they're
like
all
a
in the other room.
good
There's a
amount of
bunch
pillows.
of them.
There's
Yeah.
plenty, yeah.
Like but Artemis will look at Delilah. I can't even imagine having that knowledge. I'm so sorry.
I didn't know that till 24 hours ago.
Wow, whirlwind.
Yeah. And I think Inceptum was secretly laughing when he told me.
Yeah, he thought he had you.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe he's
Or-
dead.
I guess we are technically outside the city walls.
He got what he wanted, huh?
Oh.
And
Oh.
Artemis is gonna kind of just sit there with her for a while, just like recognize the joke,
Yeah.
the teasing. Did you know that my mother wanted me to be an architect?
Oh god, you wouldn't survive. Like, not because you're stupid or anything. Like,
no,
creative people just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother, not Koas, my twin brother, um, he was going to be an architect. He had great plans to try and fix things to help people. He had all these dreams.
How old is Artemis?
She's 31.
Okay, so Apollo would have been the same age as Delilah. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think Delilah knows his name is Apollo, but would
She-
Delilah have been in the same classes?
Like, she might know Damasi, but also like
It's a small city. Everybody knows.
it might not have like
Yeah.
clicked until
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, it might be one of those things where like
Yeah.
you just didn't put two and two together because it's
Yeah.
like been so like
Yeah.
back of your mind. Like, you
Mhm.
why would you think of
True.
this classmate
Yeah.
that had an accident and tragically
Just
passed away?
disappeared,
You know,
yeah.
like
Just disappeared one day. Yeah.
Oh my god. Apollo? I'm sorry they didn't tell us what happened, but I'm so sorry.
it was an accident with both of us, and I was the one that survived.
God.
And my parents thought it would be honorable to his memory for me to try to take his place. And there was a lot of fighting about it, and there was a lot of contention, and there was...
No offense to your parents, but that's stupid.
It is. There's a reason why I haven't seen my parents in a while, and I'm pretty sure Koas hasn't either, and who knows where they are now, because we haven't talked in a long, long time. We were kind of separate. I hadn't seen Koas for 4 years before Verite got us together. But
It would seem that that man has done a lot for a lot of us. Verite, I mean.
yes. And Koas, it for me. He was always protective, even from afar. Sometimes obnoxiously so.
I did have a woman who sort of raised me. She was more like a nanny. She was really nice. I didn't actually know her name, actually. Actually. Wanted to find her too, but
I'm sorry you won't get all the answers you want. I don't think any of us will.
I'm sure. Sorry, I'm hearing weird noises.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's all good. Yeah.
More ghost activity.
Yes.
Where was I? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of answers that just won't be given.
But I can tell you one thing. Whether they were wanting to make you into Elizabeth Agori or not, either the real her or the hero, in the best way possible, I don't think they ever could. Because I think you deep down want to help people, and you care about people, even people you don't know or barely know or anything like that. You care enough about people and the possibility of helping people that you were willing to go with Verity's crazy idea and go into the scrap.
Yeah. There may have been some selfish motivation there, but I guess it still changed.
And regardless of anything you were taught or you were told to do or anybody tried to make you believe, you did that on your own.
Did you manage to grab those journals?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And she'll kind of like reach underneath the morbid papers that she did flip upside down.
Yeah.
And like, hand them to Delilah.
Thank you. I think I've got a lot of reading ahead of me.
Yeah, I've got an art project.
I love it. So we're gonna leave. As much as I'd like to end on that lovely note, we still got somebody floating in a tub, so we have to skip away as Delilah sits down to read the journals and put this whole story together, because now you finally have both parts of it. And while Artemis goes next door to draw their tribute to the dead.
No, she's gonna stay in the same room.
Oh, you're staying in the same room? Okay, right, because you said you wanted to. Yeah, so you just sort of go over to the table and start drawing your, drawing the dead. Koas continues to snore. We had one asleep at the start. We'll have one asleep at the end. And downstairs, floating in the same floor, but floating in the water. Sid, you're as clean as you're gonna get. This water never gets cold, but you've been in here for a while. You're starting to wrinkle up.
Yeah, it's after a while your body just sort of gets numb to it.
Yep.
And he realizes that if he doesn't go to bed now, he's going to wake up dead.
Yeah.
And as inviting as that was for a split second, he'd rather be sleeping.
Yeah.
It takes him a bit. He slowly gets out. He's starting to realize just how much his body hurts.
Yep.
He took
the construct
he took
hands you a towel, and you're just
he's
you're
like
trying to dry off. Yeah.
Thank you, Francisco. And he starts to
Wobble off.
towel himself off.
Your clothes are filthy and on the floor, and all you've got is the towel.
And the bathroom.
It's outside the door.
It's outside the door.
Yeah.
He pads his way over to it, puts it on. It's paisley. Sort of ties himself tight. He's still kind of shuffly, like little numb. And in his head, a parade of ghosts.
As you walk past the window, something real penetrates and because the light comes on outside. It's like a door, a big door, like a big sliding door opens up, and you can see, first of all, because you can see that far, the ashfall is lightning. There's less of it. There's hardly, you listen, and there's hardly any of the tick, 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 tick anymore. It's just tick, tick. It's mostly ash, and it's getting thinner. You can tell the breeze has come up. What's here is sort of misting and blowing away. Who knows, by morning you might even be able to see across the yard. But for right now, you can just see down sort of into the courtyard area and this door that opens up. Then about a half a dozen constructs come out with shovels and start shoveling a path from this door towards the big gate that you guys came in at the front. Because the ash is a meter deep now.
Mm-hmm.
But inside that lit room, that what turns out it's a garage, you can see other constructs, part of this network, this amazing network that this place runs on now. You realize this is all clockwork. There's a steam-powered cart getting prepared for a journey.
He stares at it. It's like, what in the...
Sid, from here, it is absolutely clear, because there's not a construct on it. It is a steam-powered cart. There's none of the freakishness that is in the rest of this house. And also, just from design, that is not a Elizabetta construct. Somebody else made it, but it's part of this network.
Blinks and rubs his eyes. He kind of watches it, like, does he see anybody else? It's just the constructs, right?
They, if you watch for long enough, it is just the constructs. They shovel the driveway and then come back, and the cart just sits there, and then eventually the cart shuts down and the door closes, and the ash slowly starts to build up in the driveway again. It's just like the butler.
Yeah.
Nothing triggered it.
Curious.
Somebody was supposed to go to town, and they didn't show up and climb in, so it didn't set the transport off.
My brain is now linking things that have been said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But things that my character doesn't know.
Yep.
So.
Well, you could put a lot of it together because you know so much about this system. Like you had Verite and Stefano blurting shit in this room. Between the three of you, you understand at least that this is this massive system and that this is part of it, and it's capable of at least implementing things that weren't originally part of it.
Yeah. He's very...
So it's flexible.
That's something I didn't expect. Or did I? I don't know. Whatever. Something to think about later, I guess.
Yes.
And he plods back. He
thumps off to bed. Yeah.
He catches like the tail end of Delilah and Artemis's conversation. He just sort of like he stands at the door.
Yeah. Then you just hear the turning of pages and the scritching of a pen.
Yeah, and it's like there was almost like he wanted to go in. He almost did.
Yep.
And he sighs and heads to his own room. Just him and his ghosts.
And that's another good line. So that is the one we will drop the curtain on. Coas. Oh, we put you to sleep like 45 minutes ago. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I should have kept him awake or something.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Maybe I saw you getting tired, so maybe that's what I'll use that as an excuse.
Conscious.
One quick thing for Delilah's player. I didn't realize it till afterwards, but that was a deep, intimate conversation, and I have a thing that does a thing.
Yes.
I have tuning from Forbidden Knowledge, which is basically I have a long and intimate conversation with a consenting and collaborative character.
Yeah.
To identify their feelings and thoughts and solve emotional, social, and mental problems. This allows the removal of traumas in flesh and steam.
Yes.
So if you feel it narratively works,
You feel
That's
better.
there.
That's nice.
Yeah, you at the very role play it out. You feel better after that encounter than you had any right feeling.
I will take one trauma away.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
That is a
valid.
Denny's conversation.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I used to call them.
I would say because I have something too, but it
Yes.
requires me giving advice,
Yes.
which didn't happen.
No,
Fair.
you got to use that out in the hallway earlier with all the peoples. Right?
Oh,
And,
well,
yeah.
yeah, but I was thinking like for Artemis.
Yeah. So, I just want to summarize because I did say that by the end of today there would be good news, and it was still a really dark show, but there is, because you do have the formula that caused it, and you're heading to Venice where they may be able to do something with that. So you could potentially, I mean, you can't bring the people back, but you could at the very least explain why this happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. You also have this self-correcting system and 2 nerds who are currently in a dog pile asleep in the basement, by the way. Just like curled up, but they got 3/4 of the way around the room and both fell asleep at the same time, and they're just sort of, and every once in a while one of them goes, they're in the basement sleeping, but you have a self-correcting system and 2 geniuses to figure it out and are miniaturizing it as you speak. You have a steam-powered cart with no construct components, built by somebody else. You have a place to leave Fatima and the survivors in a safe environment that's still standing, and it offers complete protection for all of them. You have all kinds of clothes and gear that are all over this place that you're going to be able to pick out of here. You have the history now. You know what happened. You have all the history, so even Delilah, you now, by the time you finish reading, by the time we start our next episode, you will have all the information to make an educated judgment of this person. You also have a beautiful place to recover. You have no reason to leave here today, tomorrow, the next day. You can take some time and stay here if you want. You also have, hopefully, hope. You also have a power source to check out in the basement, but never mind. Hopefully, you have the beginnings, at least, of hope. I called this episode Low Ebb, and the thing with tides is that after they ebb, they flow. So the climb back out starts next week.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, many thank yous, because we beat you up again. I said it would be, I didn't promise it was going to be nice. I just said I was going to give you good stuff, and you got good stuff, but it wasn't very nice. So
Yeah,
thank
they
you
felt
for
part of it we did to ourselves.
you know what? It was stunning. I want to start with a double this time, because Robin and Wayward, that scene at the stairs and into the room was absolutely stunning. If I were a director in a movie, I would have said, cut, print it, we're done. Everybody take 5. It's not going to get better than that. Let's go have lunch. That was amazing. Thank you both. That felt... I wanted to say it sounded scripted, but I don't mean that. I mean it sounded that genuine. It sounded like you knew what was going on. It also sounded so unbelievably real and believable that thank you both for that. That was really, really impressive. Oh, Phil, I know we put you to sleep, but we beat your ass up first. And it is so much, Coas is so much fun because he just keeps making mistakes and bouncing off walls and just coming out and just coming through when he has to and heroing up when he has to. And when he doesn't have to, he's just wonderful bumbling fool. It's almost an Inspector Clouseau element to him that but in a really bad situation, he knows how to serious up. So I appreciate that very much. So thank you for that character. All your characters are interesting, but this one, it's hard to play a bumbling fool well, and you're doing a great job of it. So thank you.
Bumbling genius.
A bumbling genius,
honest.
yeah, a bumbling, almost a savant, yeah.
We give him shit, but
In
he's
a game
actually
full
really
of
good at his
savants,
job.
yeah. In a game full of savants, he is one. So yes, Poirot.
He's both simultaneously terrible and great at his job.
Yes, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. He should
It's
just
the
be
people
free
element he
roaming.
struggles with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And if a case isn't interesting, it just doesn't get done. I don't even have to ask. I just know that it just sits on the desk and disappears in
That's
the
it.
pile. Yeah, becomes part of the strata on the desk. But before I forget, Bison, Sid. I mean, I don't think there's a psychic bone in his body that isn't shattered. I mean,
I kicked the shit out of him this
yep,
month.
and you did it and as it was pointed out by several of the people, you did it to yourselves. And in Sid's case, you really did take Sid and put him through the ringer. So I
Ugh.
appreciate that, and I like what came out of it, and I love that we're going to start next week with going downstairs and seeing what's in that basement.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a great scene too, by the way. The but I'm tired. Oh, but I want. It's like the kid who's cookies, sleep, cookies, sleep. I want a cookie. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm not. Oh shit, I'm going to bed. I give up. You know, yeah.
You just basically trying to find distractions to stop thinking
Yep.
about everything else.
Exactly, and that's I wanted to say tonight. The acting tonight was amazing. The character work was stunning all around because none of you chose to miraculously cover and just move on, right? Which could be so easy to do, and in a lot of role playing games, it's like we just murdered a whole village. Oh well, what's for lunch, you know? And it's just. You know, you guys are taking the consequences and just internalizing them and making this so much more real. This should come with a tissue warning. But with that, I just looked down. It's almost quarter after the hour. So there's 2 thank yous left, and then the important bit. The 2 thank yous. Thank you to everybody in chat. I think tonight it wasn't just us. There was at least K-Grams out there. So thank you.
Mhm.
We appreciate it. And anybody who's watched in the future on YouTube or the VOD here, thank you for that too. Every view counts. Every one of them makes a difference. I keep saying I don't look at numbers, but I do. So yeah. So have a look, and if you do our YouTube, please drop in a comment. We have one of our fine and wondrous people that comments on every single video, and they're so lonely in the comments field. So please pop in there and just add something to the comments, just to make them feel better, if nothing else. We'll feel better too, but that's a side byproduct. One more thing, and it's the important one.
You forgot? Did you? Never mind.
What did I
I
forget?
think you did. You just thanked the YouTube people.
I
and
did. I just think that. Yeah.
I guess
it
I
was,
like completely zoned out.
No, it's okay because I know why is because I didn't say if you watch this far, please hit the like button because we're going to assume you did. So there, now you know we did the YouTube speech. But with that, the important bit. Until next time, unlike these people, please be nice to yourselves and each other. Good night.
Good night.